Yes, sir.
What's up, guys?
Yes. This DJ will kick the floor in three, two, 1.
On the troll.
Yes. Hello and welcome back. It's a good Sunday. I know we owe you something.
Oh, yes.
Which is Friday. So before we go to Monday, why not give it to you so that you have a full story? A lot of things were said in that court.
Yeah.
But what strikes me is what ABSALOM Zung said
What did
about
he say?
sleeping at the garage,
Oh, yes.
which is something I'm familiar with when it comes to sleeping at the garage.
Long distance traveling.
Long distance traveling and also not knowing anyone wherever you are going. It's a very sad thing. But one thing I can take comfort of is that at least maybe it was hot because it's summer. You imagine that happening
During winter.
during winter. It's
And he's
something that you
he's of
wouldn't
age.
wish for anyone. Yes.
He's
Strong
of
and daughter.
age.
It's stronger kulu ubabo ABSALOM.
His son is putting him on.
His
through all
son
of that.
really should be ashamed for putting his father to such. Regardless
Because
of the hostility
most-
of what we see in that court, of people throwing tantrums
Like
for
little
no
children.
reasons. For no reasons, they are throwing tantrums. They are saying we are calling them Sims. But if the shoe fits, you wait. We can never look at you otherwise. You are exactly what you think you are, unfortunately. And if people view you like that, many of people view you like that,
Yeah.
then you are that. There is nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. So, injali ndaba fethu, we are here. It's a Sunday. It's raining most of the country, most of parts of the country, like
I had to
Mpumalanga.
look for a jersey.
It's raining everywhere. It's raining now. We don't give where we are, but it's raining everywhere.
I had to look for a jersey that I thought I had put away. It's so hot. Now I have to put it back on.
It's a very difficult space to drive at. I think those who are driving, be careful, guys. Water on the road,
It's wet. This is
mist in some of the places. So yeah, make sure that you drive safe.
If you can, stay home.
Stay home. Avoid going out. So, but if you have to go out, make sure that you are safe. You drive defensively more than anything. Don't think that people will follow rules and therefore that has claimed many lives. So, Emily, let's hear what happened on Friday. And yes, we didn't come on Friday because we had other commitments, guys. Unfortunately. So I had to move. But I'm back now. Therefore, we made sure that because everything was already prepared, it's just that what we couldn't prepare or foresee is what called me. So now we are here. We are here to make sure that we make up for Friday. So, Emily, hit the ground. And you guys know what to do. Press the like button, subscribe, join membership. Do anything that is positive that you can do that we appreciate in advance. And we say God bless you in advance.
As much as we do follow the proceedings and we cover the case, life is also happening in the background. So yeah, it's not because we want to not come live. No. When you see us not pitching, it's usually because it's something that was urgent and needed our attention, or either as individuals, and we have no control over it. So guys, Welcome back to the Mzansi Reality YouTube channel. And yes, on court, on Friday, in court, a lot happened. So I'm going to need more time to go through this. A lot
Collins Zoom, I was disappointed with Advocate Nisi for promising Mr. Zungu Sr. the time to speak after leading evidence he checked out without giving him that time. Mr. Zungu had to face writer one-on-one. It's okay. I'm happy how he... You know why? I knew that Nisi is not going to give that time.
Why?
You can't... Looking at how Baloyi is, I mean, we are not there, in my opinion, to find the truth. So
it's defensive.
You are opening yourself up for a lot of things. If he goes wild under Baloyi, it's fine. Yeah, let's see how Baloyi is going to have to can him. It's okay.
Yeah.
There's still time. But he had to tell him that he will give him time to that. And I think without saying much, he did, in a sense, lead him to say almost everything that he needed. That's important. Because, court is all about, other judges, yes, they are nice. They would allow you to speak. They would want to hear the truth. But there, people are out to get you.
Yes.
So when later the judge is the one saying Nisi should do this and that, it's fine like that. Because then Nisi can allow a bit of, but it's important. Baloyi does not play around.
No.
He ends up saying, you said 1, 2, 3. You said 1, 2, 3. That's the cross-examination. He didn't want to give Baloyi much.
Yes.
Let him deal with the situation. He will have to deal with Ubabu ABSALOM himself.
They also need to put the entire record as they receive it in one file, right?
For what they said.
For every time Baloyi goes on record, they're able to track it faster. I would have maybe expected that lady there in the background. Apparently she's done. She's an attorney now.
Yeah.
She finished her board exams. I think she's working with
Board
Ramasipil. That's what they said, board exams.
Oh, so they call them board exams, not articles or something?
Articles, but they said she's done with her board exams. She's a qualified attorney now.
Well, they said in court?
Yeah, the Ramasipili wanted the judge to congratulate her, but it never happened. Maybe it did happen when the cameras were off, but in front of the camera, no. But yeah, congratulations to her as well. Pushing through this entire case and also being able to balance and study and get her life together. It's a big thing. It's a big achievement. So congratulations to her. I don't know her name, but I wish there was someone needs to do it for the defense. And I feel like a person who's younger will be far much quicker. When there's something being referenced like that, it needs to be pulled and get full context fast and highlight and transfer. It's just a suggestion, because that's where I felt that someone was needed on the defense side, especially towards the beginning when they now started talking about how they expunged ABSALOM Zungu's statement and then spinned it and said that the defense is actually the one who introduced ABSALOM Zungu's statement, and as the state they decided no, this statement is not, they're not going to use it, they're not going to call ABSALOM as a witness, but they've based their case on him. I'm sure there are things in the record that can...
Well, there are a lot of things. I think where, as far as criminal cases are concerned, South Africa, we have not raised the bar to a point where we would have like candidates, not a candidate. Candidates sitting at the back, doing
They are
everything.
very important. I
And then-
even see with Madlanga Commission, they help a lot. They assist each other.
Yeah. So I think this was the issue of money. It's not enough, and lawyers are all about, hey, money. They're saying we are all
Do you
about
think there's
money.
so many law graduates? So many.
So that is the problem, I think, that
They
these
are
people
not
are facing.
absorbing.
They are, but it's difficult because the money that we also pay as people is not enough. I mean, petty crime, for example, and all those things. But that's where I think that I find them to be missing something. So I was at some point in conversation with these other lawyers. So they shared the strategy they use. One, I think, is a mining, specializes in mining.
Yes.
He said he has a system that, how he works, he has a system. This system is based on, there is what he called a kitchen nitty-gritties that you don't need to see. If you go for, he made an example, if you go, for example, to where they make pies or where they cook meat, you would probably not eat if you were to see what they do at the back.
Yes, that's true.
So he also he said he has that. So to get his big clients, there must be a kitchen process that allows him to go have a seat with one crucial client that will bring a lot of money. So in that process, he therefore caused these things like your petty crime, the issue of marriage, divorce, and all. He calls
That's my
them
favorite.
He calls them a kitchen process that you don't need to see. And he says, okay, I collect those your 5,000 and all that so that that money can allow me to go sit on a big table
Of a big client.
of a big
Will bring
client.
in $1 million.
Yes. At some point, he paid for, he wasted something like 50,000 in a day because he was with this client who liked certain things. So he had to go have a lunch with that, and then in that process, something close to 50 was actually out of his account because he was trying to impress this person who likes certain things, so that he can get the job. Eventually, he did get that job, which then basically he said, as a lawyer who owns a law firm, that's what you must have to deal with. And then other one was saying her strategy is rough. She specializes on what? Forgot what she specializes on, but her strategy is rough. That's her kitchen process. So rough, it's quick. You don't need to know much. You learn along the way as a lawyer. And then that allows her to actually keep the office going. So now you can imagine how difficult it is to absorb new lawyers. It is hard because of that. The money they are making, they are renting. Remember, these lawyers, they are owning firms. The lawyers I'm talking about, they are owning firms. I think such as
you have to pay rent or something.
They have to pay rent. They have to deal with other stuff, and then they have to file and also pay for accountants.
They also have to pay licenses for practicing every year.
Yes,
I think
and then
25K or something like that.
And then she was even complaining about LPC, saying that they tell you we are here for you, but the first thing they are looking for is for you to pay that access fee of 4,000. Where are you gonna get 4,000 if you don't have clients? For example, they're saying they are training you, but now you need to pay that amount already. How it's like saying, okay, come, I'll train you, but before I train you, I need this money. But the reason why I'm getting training is because I want so that I can get these clients. So that's basically what she was complaining about.
Oh.
And the fact that they are disconnected as lawyers, they don't know each other and are hard with each other. They have this thing that sometimes if you open yourself to someone, that person might come and take away some of your clients. But sometimes it is good to pass on other clients if you are not a specialist to that, to someone, because by so doing, you are creating a network. One day that person will pass on something to you that you are specializing on. So they now and then create a situation where they go and meet and then they have lunch. They probably have sessions where they book, and then they are together for long, and then they connect. They bring new people in that process, and you get to know who's specializing in marriage stuff. You get to know who specializes in criminal cases. You get to know who to what do they call this thing?
Convincing.
No, not convince. When they are giving you a job, what do they call it? They instructing. They get to know who to instruct. Yes, you get to know who to instruct on certain things.
Okay.
So yeah, that's basically what I learned up from these people. So it's hard to actually absorb a mail. I'm not blaming them because of finances. These people expect to get a minimum of 8,000 at the beginning and through the process when they're still dealing with a training. So
to be an advocate, Gonja, you also have to pay for pupillage.
So those are the things that we unfortunately, only big companies are capable to give you resources.
Those ones with the big buildings and stuff. Hey, but people that work there are crying also.
Yeah, it's not about it's not about them. It's about the company. So they are pushing the company. Obviously gonna work hard as a person who works there.
They're crying, they're not happy.
Yeah, let's hear what happened.
Okay, yes. So Advocate Ngumalo was standing in for Advocate Mshololo, and he was representing accused number 5 on Friday, Fiso Ntuli. He says he was not taken for medical care as per the court instruction had instructed on Thursday, and the judge asked if he requested that they take him to the doctor because of the order that he made. Ngumalo said he did, but what happened is that he was dumped in his cell. Nobody attended to the court to take him for medical care. It was only in the morning that a senior prison official, Mr. Leta, came to check on him and make those arrangements. He said that there was a captain from inside the hospital at CMAX who indicated to him that he came and checked him in order to make those arrangements. Mr. Ntuli disallowed such because nobody came to him since Thursday until Friday morning when he had to appear before court. So the judge asked if there's no clinic in Koshimampuru, and Ngumalo said there is a clinic and he must be seen by the nurses there, and then they make a note of him to be transferred to a doctor because Ntuli had insisted that he wants to go see a private doctor on Thursday. I don't know how many of you still remember that.
Yeah.
Well, the judge said that, so he wants to be seen by the doctor still. And Ngumalo said he approached accused number 5 at the court there just before, or just after the judge asked if he still wanted to be seen by the doctor. And Ngumalo said that he does insist he still wants to be seen by a doctor, but not now, maybe later. He says he has injuries, and if the court wants to see them, he can show the injuries to the court. Well, the judge said no, he won't, and he said he will tell them why. He said, remember, there's litigation. Are you aware of that? And Ngumalo said yes. And the judge said about the same complaint, so you can add that assault to that litigation. So at this point, I don't know what litigation he's talking about, or maybe he's talking about that order he made that the case regarding it is still open. Maybe that's what he's referring to. He didn't go into details. Well, Nxumalo said, I suggest the court give a written order, and the judge said that he will write it and sign it. Okay, so ABSALOM Zungu was back on the stand as well. So before I move to ABSALOM Zungu, what did you think about accused number 5 situation on Friday? Because we got a lot of backlash on Thursday.
A lot of it, yeah.
People were not happy. They were like, no, he's being treated unfairly. He's fighting for his rights. All he wants is a phone call to see his lawyer. Why can't they just give him his phone call?
And I was called insensitive.
You guys are, insensitive.
Me
and
specifically,
whatnot.
I was called insensitive. You know what? I do not change my stance on Nduli. People are forgetting that Mkhwanazi briefly talked about Nduli.
Yes, he did.
How when they were dealing with Nduli's cases, he would come with expensive lawyers.
Yes.
And here we had a caller that talked about how at this point when he's still in jail, at home there's still improvement that is happening. Those are things that you have to take into account.
We did have a
So
caller
these
a
are
couple of
things-
years ago.
And you ask yourself, I mean, you call someone a criminal, who's paying for these lawyers? Who's paying for these lawyers? And from the word go, accused number 5.
Yes.
From the word go, I'm talking about Boxback.
Yes.
He had a lawyer, the same lawyer.
Yes, it was Advocate Mshololo.
Advocate
She's
Mshololo.
always been there from Boxback
Yes.
appearance. Yes.
And
And she
then
was standing in for
someone was
accused number
talking
5.
about it, how they started knowing each other. It's a story for another day. But, it's difficult to explain some of these things because people just want to think a certain way. So they think now we are saying, this person. No. What I was against, I think I'm vindicated by what ABSALOM Zungu is saying, what he's going through.
Oh, yes.
Do you understand?
Yes.
What ABSALOM Zungu went
Did you
through.
hear him towards the end?
Is that what we wanted?
He's been here for
Yes.
4 weeks.
Yes.
He's been here, or not even here. He's been in Gauteng for 4 weeks. And he was talking about how you're sleeping in garages and all of
Yes. And then people said, no, we don't care about that, but they still have rights. No one said they don't have rights. No one said that. No one said that.
So-
And considering, let's say, I was fully beaten, I wouldn't be postponing my appointments if really it's something urgent. I would just go. Like if now it didn't happen yesterday, when you come back, the next thing that I would expect is to do the same thing and say, I want to go to the doctor. I'm sick.
He's insisting on a private doctor. But here's the thing. He's incarcerated. So he has to go through the nurse
Exactly.
at the prison.
Exactly.
Even if he still wants to see the doctor, he must first go
Go
through
through
the
the
nurse,
nurse. Yes, yes.
so that they give him a recommendation
Yes.
to go see the doctor. Now, what I don't understand is he was given, we can say, the whole day of Thursday. Why didn't he go to the clinic? Was he prohibited? Was he
Again,
stopped?
it is not clear
Was
whether he was prohibited or what.
Was he told not to go to the
Okay, you are now afforded that chance again the following day. You say, no, it's okay. Now we can continue. Now you're thinking about the court. I'll go later. And then number 2, where's the agents? Did Mshololo come?
She wasn't there on Friday.
After the whole thing, did he
She
come
wasn't
for
there
his
on
client?
Friday. But she did tell the court that she would like to be excused for last week, right? She did ask the judge. What I'm I don't understand is whether she communicated that to her client. I don't know about that.
Has the call that started this whole thing happened already? Did it finally happen? Remember,
no
now we are focusing on him being abused, but the main issue was that he wanted to call Mshololo.
Yes.
So
there's no update on whether he got his phone call or not.
The last time he left, he said he
Malu did
left.
not
He
tell
said
us.
he said they were sorting it out. So it is not clear as to whether that call eventually happened.
No.
And what is this? What was this agent? Because if it was there, Ngomalo would come with it and say, and
Even now,
this is
he
the
hasn't
case.
received that opportunity to make a phone call.
So
to
everything now is no longer clear. Like it's not coming out like, okay, this is the case, this is the progress. In fact, this is what accused number 5 felt so pushed about. This is what he told his counselor. Did he? It's not happening. So all now is touch and go. And we say, okay, fine. But my worry and my primary worry has been always about Ubaba ABSALOM Zungu when it comes to this case. You can call me insensitive. I would accept that. It's okay. It's normal to differ.
Yes.
It's normal to differ. But in my thinking, I think that
I think
it's
you were
blurry.
vindicated on Friday.
It's blurry when it comes to how this man is dealing with this whole thing. And what was it that was itching? Because it should have been said to court then. If there was a call. Okay, actually accused number 3 was talking about 1, 2, 3. Wanted to call me for this reason.
But we will never know.
So-
For now, he will have to go to that clinic at Koshimampuru, get his recommendation to see the
And they
private
can add
doctor.
that to a different case because
Before
there
the
is a case
injuries
that
are no
deals with
longer-
that.
Before
Yes.
the injuries heal, he must make sure that he goes and see a private doctor as fast as possible. Because the longer he waits, by the time he goes, maybe the doctor will not be able to pick up any injuries.
So I still stand on my position. Whether you like it or not, umuntu njengamanje uhlukumeza okudluleka wonke umuntu. Umuntu olapho who's trying to save them.
Yes, who's trying to tell the
Umuntu
truth.
olapha who's trying to save them.
them, honestly speaking.
Yes,
Honestly
he's
speaking.
trying. That man is there to save them.
Yes. So that for me didn't make sense, that here's someone who's coming here to redeem
So you can
and
spam. You can spam.
you are throwing
and
tantrums.
and this person who's spamming, I'm gonna block you. You are spamming now. This is called spamming.
What that they're writing one comment
genius
over
lady.
and over.
Yeah, you are spamming.
No guys.
And then
that's
I'm
not
gonna
nice.
block you,
Please
and
block
you're gonna have a problem with that.
Please
I'll-
block.
I'll-
I don't like spamming because it interrupts our work.
Yeah.
Please.
So you are spamming now. This is spamming. So I'm gonna ask the moderators for now to deal with it, because
No, I need to be blocked.
putting one point across is fine, but
Hey,
doing
don't
it 10
write-
times, that
don't
is now
duplicate
being a
one
psycho.
thing.
You are crazy.
Don't duplicate one thing over and over and over again like you're a robot.
You are crazy now.
No.
That is what we don't tolerate. We have people that we talk to. We don't even know you, for starters. I've never seen your comment that much. You are spamming. Stop
No,
spamming our channel. Let's continue.
Yes, ABSALOM Zungu was back on the stand on Friday. Okay, Mnisi started by asking him, we were busy with a statement that was read by Brigadier Gininda, which they said was made by you. Now, the last sentence was as follows on paragraph 3, and I quote, he further said he was told by the brother of Mafika, who's not Mbeki Sendi, that Mafika Ntanzi committed the murder with Muzisbia, who is also from Kwanongoma. So what is happening here is that because they expunged ABSALOM Zungu's statement, according to them, even though they did not state it clearly on the record that they are expunging ABSALOM Zungu's statement, they made a new statement via Brigadier Geninda, who repeated what was written in the statement that ABSALOM Zungu is now denying. And he's saying he did not give that such a statement.
Yes.
So they were eliminating ABSALOM Zungu as a witness for the state. But they are using, the lead investigator is using ABSALOM Zungu's so-called statement in his statement.
Yes.
This is so weird.
His name is still remains there, but they are saying they.
And then this is actually hearsay. The investigating officer, the lead investigating officer statement is relying on hearsay coming from a witness who says they did not make that statement. So if it happens that the statement is false and fabricated, he referenced the statement that was fabricated.
Yes.
And he duplicated that statement in his own statement.
That is the reason why accused number 5, accused number 4, accused number 3, they were arrested.
Yeah.
That is the reason.
Ingujikwebu.
Mm.
And ABSALOM Zungu at the end, towards the end, he asked a very important question that they are saying, I'm the reason that these 5 people are arrested.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not called to come and testify. They are saying he's the reason why they arrested these
Adding
people.
to that, which then puts more weight on the fact that even the signatures, they're not in line with his signatures.
Yes.
They don't call him on top of that.
They don't call him.
They narrate
They
his
say,
story.
we're not lead investigator. Repeat what is written in this fabricated statement in your statement. And say that ABSALOM Zungu said these things to you.
Imagine.
Without using ABSALOM Zungu. Beautiful work. Of Ngujikwebu. Of Takantuke. I've never seen anything like this. Never in my life. So he said that, in other words, Brigadier Gininda said that as he was writing this statement, you told him what I just read here. Now, did you ever say or finish Brigadier Bongani Gininda with this information? Babu ABSALOM Zungu said he never said it. They were the ones that were talking on that statement. He says they were the ones giving themselves testimonies and all of those things that were written in that statement. He didn't participate. So the judge said, sorry, when you say they were the ones who were talking, is Gininda making the statement according to what Mr. Mnisi is saying? He says you told him that now you are saying that they were the ones who are talking. In other words, he was asking who is they in the statement. Well, Zungu said, as I mentioned, I never went to a court or a police station. I don't even know its name, but what it's written here, all the things that they were making me do, they were forcing me to admit to everything. They took me by force. Well, Mnisi asked him, it further says that, and I quote, I further do know the 2 mentioned suspects. They were staying in a hostel in Vosloorus during the time Senzo Meyiwa was killed. Did you ever give the information to Brigadier Gininda? Zungu laughed at this and said, hi. To say that they stayed at a hostel. What hostel? Mnisi then asked him, we do understand, but did you give this information to Brigadier Gininda? Zungu said, I never said it because I don't even know the hostel. Nisi then said it further states, I know Muzisibia had dreadlocks at a later time, but cut them off after the murder of Senzo. Zungu said, I don't even know those dreadlocks. So that statement says...
Let me sorry, man, I'm so digested. Let me address Genius. Genius, you send that message, I don't know whether 10 times, if I'm not mistaken. I can count for you.
Yes, please don't do that.
No, wait, because I see what he's saying. He's saying that he's got issues with network and all that. There is no need to insult me, calling me, because it comes out like that. If you say, if a message comes 10 times, I'm reading here. Every time I'm seeing it, you keep on repeating
And
that
it's
thing.
the same.
It's the same message. How am I
sentence.
supposed to read it? How am I supposed to think that, oh, maybe it's a problem of network that we are sending this thing 10 times? From where I'm standing, it's spamming. Comes as that because there are people who are capable of that, writing something 10 times. I don't disagree with your opinion. It's your opinion.
Yes.
But to bring it 10
Don't
times.
write it like over and over and as if you are a
So
bot.
you should have said, guys, this is the problem I'm having.
Explain with a different sentence.
That's okay. We are fine with that. If you say I have a problem, that's why it keeps on sending. We'll accept that.
Hey, don't do that. But you will accept it if that's your
So
explanation.
yeah, it's not what is irritating, because I'm sitting here, I'm reading the chats, I'm posting them where I need to post them. So you are coming 10 times now. What am I supposed to do? And I don't have the information that you have, that it's an issue that you have on your side. So it's okay, we accept that. And I also retract my submission of calling you
Because
names.
now we can
It's
confirm
an
that you
issue
are
that,
human.
yes, it's an issue that you are saying, but to me it just came, many times, and that didn't look right.
Okay. All right, Genius. Thank you for explaining, because Mina, I had already made up my mind.
It is worrying. If you are sitting here also checking it,
Yeah.
you would be worried.
So please fix it. And if a message, just wait a bit. If you've sent a chat, wait a little bit. Just give it time. It will appear. Okay, there's no need to press it over and over and over. It will appear. Even if the internet is slow, by the time it connects on your side, it will send it through. Okay. So Mnisi then said, but did you give him this information? Zungu said, I never said that to him. To even talk about dreads to people whom we are separated from in the homelands and even see each other during the holiday season. So he's saying that throughout the year, as he's working in Mpumalanga, in Emelo, or wherever he may be working, Sbia is in Johannesburg living with his uncle there in Tembisa. They don't see each other throughout the entire year because they have commitments, they have work, they're looking for opportunities to make a living. So he's saying that they only see each other like fully during holiday seasons, which is typical Makai. It becomes very jovial throughout. Everybody goes home. Those who can go home, they go home. And that's where you get to see a lot of people. But on a random July week where everybody's at work, you don't see each other like that, right? So he said, I've not seen any dreads and I don't even stay with them. I never said this. Well, Nisi said he further says that you told him that Muzisbia is currently somewhere in Kwanongoma and Mafiga and Danzi is currently working at a certain mine in Rustenburg. At the time at which, according to him, you made this statement on the 17th of November 2019, and Zungu said, as he is here, I don't even know the mine where he works. He was referring to accused number 2. Zungu asked for Mnisi to repeat that question again, and then he responded by saying that with regards to the mine, he knows nothing about it, and Muzisbia stays in Mahlabatini and not Nongoma. So Mnisi then asked him, but did you give this information to Brigadier Gininda? Zungu said no. He never said it. He would just listen to them as they were advising each other with whatever they were, advising each other with. He was just sitting there. He said they never talked to him or addressed him. And this is before we find out about how actually they took him from where he was to go and be at that some other place where he says Brigadier Gininda was just writing a statement and he was just
Was that
writing
place,
stuff.
do we agree now that that place is what Gininda says it was Joburg? What's the distance from
Mpumalanga to Pretoria.
more specifically, is it Emelo
Emelo.
to Pretoria?
I think it's something you have to look up on the internet.
Mm.
So Mnisi said that it further says you said you were aware that the two were also used hitmen and their ringleader was one Nkani Zungu of Sosotho from Nongoma area. However, he's currently in jail. Zungu said that when he brings up issues of hitmen, he could just hear people talking about hitmen. He doesn't remember bringing up the issues of hitmen to anyone. He said he was not talking. He said he never said that. And he kept saying this. He was never talking. At the time, I didn't understand what he meant by this. But later on, he did give us context. Nisi said, he further says, you identified a photo of Muzisbia to the police and attached it with the statement. And Zungu said, a photo. I don't remember being in possession of a photo. Who says I went to the police? And Nisi said, he said, when you were narrating this information to him, he said you also identified a photo of Muzisbia to the police. Zungu said, oh, now I understand. The photo I spoke about is the one that Constable Zungu showed to me and asked, do you know this one? And he was showing it to me from his phone in Mpumalanga and not here. And he said, I know him. My son had this picture. It came from Constable Zungu. I even mentioned that I asked him if he got permission to possess that photo. And he said he did not tell him. He stole it. That's the only picture I know of. Gininda is the one who went to Sizwe to ask me if I know this person on the photo. Now Gininda has placed the picture somewhere else. The picture is from Constable Zungu. So it means they have spoken about this picture and agreed that since one of them knows the person to continue, which is why he mentioned the photo. So this, it seems that literally Brigadier Gininda took ABSALOM's so-called statement, polished it, and made it his own. He even added a picture which was not included in ABSALOM Zungu's statement.
Is it part of
that picture?
isn't that?
It's not an annexure
You know
in
what?
ABSALOM Zungu's
This-
statement.
Yes.
But it's an annexure in Gininda's statement.
This is where, yeah,
Now,
whoever is advising the state, those people, they can make things difficult, eh? Can
Now-
you imagine? Sorry, just hold your thought, Emil, on that. Just hold it. Can you imagine the situation where people, upon the case, they realize that they fumbled about ABSALOM Zungu's statement, and then they go on and embed that to Gininda to make it Gininda's hearsay.
yes.
That's basically what is currently happening now. So now it begs the question.
And you know what another thing is?
Ramona, thank you. God bless you. Yes.
And you know what another interesting thing is? I need to go back to ABSALOM Zungu's statement while it was read on record. And any of you, if you can, please go back and find out. Did ABSALOM Zungu say anything about a photo while it was read on record under Mgomezulu, I think? Or was it Mgomezulu or Ramsipeli?
Repeat your question.
Was there mention in that statement that is said to have been written by ABSALOM Zungu of a photo? We need to look that up.
No.
So if that statement never spoke of a photo,
Yes.
how come now it's being presented to say that my son showed me a photo? When did Brigadier Gininda receive this information if it's not in the original statement of ABSALOM Zungu or the so-called original statement? The so-called. So when
But guys, what this case is teaching you, as a normal person like ABSALOM.
Yes.
Isaiah,
Can
God
afford
bless
an
you. Thank you.
expensive lawyer. Thank you, Isaiah.
Guys, all of you
Thank
who
you.
have pressed the like button and in fact engage on the comments.
Thank
God bless you guys. Press the like button. Those who are doing that, subscribing, everything. We appreciate you. And last thintana khona kabi nisixolele ngani zakwethu. Kuyenzeka nathi sibe ku defense mode ngoba ama comment lawa siyawafunda ke shame.
Unfortunately,
kukhona phela abavele befike nje bebeke nje sinom kanjani ubone ukuthi adoda sesiyalimaleka. We try to be less emotional, but we are people.
I can't.
Ezinye izinto ziyadinga ukuthi sikhuzane sisodwa. I don't know how many times sikhuzane they leave this when you call and say hey, but this comment leave it. Thank you very much, guys. That's what this channel is all about. We accept criticism, it's okay, and we accept that we are going to differ.
Yeah.
But eventually when things come back and they kind of match, we also agree and say, yeah, finally we are here. So from Emelo to Pretoria, it's 2 hours 34 minutes. I think they are counting if there is no traffic or whatsoever.
So there's a possibility that they could have taken him to Pretoria.
Yes.
Because that's the comfort place of this investigative team in particular. So...
Well, yes, you are correct. I like the fact that you are putting it that way, that's where they are comfortable. Pretoria, that's where a lot of things can happen.
So once you see that they've taken you there, it's best you withdraw. Or you save your life. Which, by the way, I never understand when people are like, but they signed their confessions, they signed the statement. How come they signed things that were going to put them in this situation? What choice do you think they had? Did you hear
and
that?
Here's a person who had 10% of a choice. Nakona, because begunengane yakhe involved. So somehow they were easy on him.
They were easier on him.
That's why he couldn't put a signature there. But as a person, if there was no child of yours there who sold you out, allegedly, what do you think would have happened?
Did you hear about the evidence that was shared at the ad hoc committee regarding EMPD officer, captain? He's a captain, superintendent. What is he? Julius Mkwanazi.
I don't know. All I know is that he's a man who's got power.
Allegedly. Everything is alleged. But now
that's what I'm hearing on these things. By the looks of what they are saying,
scared me. Okay, it's scary stuff. Okay, and there are some people who don't make it in these kind of situations. That's all I'm gonna say. There are some people who don't get out alive. There's a witness who was anonymous there who was sharing about how he was compelled to assist in taking a body to a river. So, what choice did Bontanzi have, Lebo Sibia, under such conditions?
It's difficult, Connor, to look at this thing. You don't want to find yourself in this situation.
Mouse biati bing 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 bing. Uten baba usbia uthe bing bencenga impilo yami. Bencenga impilo yami bengifuna ukuphila.
Consistently, and then ABSALOM comes and say, when I realized that we're not finding each other, then I decided to cooperate. Because I was afraid for my life.
You'll never understand until you've been in such
Doesn't
a situation.
That say that we have brutality from the people that should be protecting those who cannot protect themselves?
You know, when you've never been in that type of situation, you will never understand. You will make it stop by just putting your signature there so that you pray that they leave you alone afterwards. You can only but pray because you would have given them what they want. So can you imagine what kind of a situation is that? And even prior, before, we used to hear rumors. In fact, it's not rumors. It's one of the accused father. I don't know whether it's Moses Bia or Ntanzi, in one of the interviews they did with Newsroom Africa back in the day, where he was saying that his son actually told him that these same police officers told him that some people who we've done this to did not make it. There are other people who did not make it. So what choice do they have? I'm going to ask you again, we're another person who says, why did they sign? They couldn't have.
It sounds easy when you're outside. You're fun and nature. When people tell you, hey, it's easy, you can do 1, 2, 3, you need to make sure of 1, 2, 3. It sounds so easy. But once you're in that situation, it's a different story.
Different ball.
But 3 people who are of different ages, who other one is arrested, the other is not. The states do not call these people.
No.
They eventually say, no, triple hearsay, but they arrested people based on that. And they are still saying it through Guinea that they arrested people based on that. Where Figu Baba, who showed the very same thing, which he was afraid. So the question remains, Baba is free, he's outside. He's got no reason to come and lie and say, no, I was scared. He's got no reason. But Jenge Sakamuzi, who was hurt also, he's saying, I want to talk because I've been hurt by this thing.
Yes.
It's
ruining his name.
And what happened from, there, how he was treated.
And how he was treated by the people he thought are police as well.
And who at some point also thinks that this is my son. In fact, if you have a son who's a police, you think you are probably the most protected person.
You drop your guard.
But in this case, no.
Well, Mnisi then asked him, he says that when you gave him this statement and you have repeatedly said to him, you never gave him this statement. But he says here, when you gave the statement to him, you also identified a photo of Moses Bia. Did you at any point when you gave the statement also identify such a photograph? Zungu said no, he can show that photo. I'm not stopping him. I know the difference between the one I first saw. So he's now challenging Brigadier Gilinda to share the specific photo that he's talking about. Nisi then said that he says here that the photograph is attached to the statement that we are reading now, but when the state gave us the statement that we are reading now, that photo was not there, to show that this thing was just slid in there, at last minute, because Nisi was saying that they gave us the statement, but the photo is not there. They didn't give them the photo. Oh my God.
When they say this is trial by ambush.
Hi, Con.
Like, you keep on finding new things. Imagine the people are arrested based on that. Based on the picture that is not there.
Then Mnisi said he further wrote in this that you said the following, that you were not told by Mpegiseni as to why Moses Bia and Mafiga Ntanzi killed Senzo. Zungu said, I never said that. Nisi said he further said that you told him that after you received the above information, you then decided to tell your son, who is a police officer in Johannesburg, about the above information. His name is Kumbuzo Zungu. In other words, that after you heard from Begiseni about this information, you told your son. Zungu said, I know nothing about this. Mnisi then said, did you ever have a discussion with Begiseni relating to the involvement of Moses Bia and Ntanzi on the killing of Senzo? Zungu said no, Mbegiseni never discussed such. Even I didn't discuss such. What caused all of this is because I sent him to go fetch my son,
consistently,
who's a police officer.
From the beginning, he narrated how Mbegiseni met his son. It was because his son would come unannounced, and then at some point he initially had to send him Mbekiseni because he's the only one who knew where he stays and he knew the key.
Yes.
Consistently, even answering that question when it's asked differently, he says, Mbekiseni's name is involved because Mbekiseni met my son through me sending him.
Another interesting thing on the version of Brigadir Gininda in the statement of ABSALOM Zungu's statement, he's saying that he had it. This is so weird. I don't even know how to describe it. He's saying that ABSALOM Zungu said he had from Mbekiseni, who had from another one of Ntanzi's brothers. So it is triple hearsay.
No, they just realized that after they arrested people.
Why are we still put through this? Sekumele kwenziwe njani for this case to be dismissed?
So this case basically, the simple way to explain it, it's like a tree that doesn't have a stem.
Yes. It's going to fall whether they like it or not.
It's like a tree that doesn't have a stem.
It's
you
going
just
to
see
fall.
the tree. There is a tree, but when you look down to see
There are
where
no roots.
there are no roots, there's no stem.
It's going to fall. Trees like that don't survive.
Well, we don't know. Why is your friend angry if that is the case?
He's angry.
He's like a wounded cousin.
No, he's angry. He's angry. He's like, it's like he's the prosecutor. And isn't that hambi kahle? The
Look
way
at
he's
how
so upset.
he scolded me there when he was, after he apologized, you need to apologize to me. I'm like, hey, man, what is going on here?
Hey, it felt like he was some kind of an umpire there. Some kind of a god.
Hey.
I'm like, and you know what the weird thing is? This thing used to happen between Sbia and, not Sbia's Banda and Advocate Baloyi. It used to happen. They'd be referencing there as he asked the question, and then he'll be leaning there and asking Sibanda there.
And Osbanda would approach Baloyi, chat Baloyi,
yes, he still does it
bring his
even now.
attention, yes.
But he's not told anything.
No.
He doesn't ask for permission
There
whenever
are
he
no
does it.
papers that are made for them to actually read, so that the conduct of the lawyers in court and all that. No, nothing like that. But let him do it, or even Ramsey. You can almost swear Guti, this judge doesn't want the help to come in for these people to ask the relevant question or do the relevant things in court. No, it's like disturbing the whole process.
And the way he was so upset also when ABSALOM Zungu was saying that he needed time. He thought he'd be given time, and he wanted to share extra information that he didn't get the opportunity to share. From the moment Ubaba ABSALOM started speaking, the face. Guys, you should look at the judge's face. Yay! I've never been so uncomfortable watching something. Like, I was like, why does it look like you're so angry? Like, what's going on? Why are you angry?
All the notes that he wrote.
You should be happy.
You know why? Because all the notes that he wrote, they are crumbling. Notes that he was writing with a green face, smiling. And Baloyi was busy there. Now, they are crumbling under test. I think that's what pisses him off, in my opinion.
Lena, South Africa. Then he said, what caused all this is because I sent him to go fetch my son, who's a police officer, just as he's now in trouble because I asked him to fetch my son at night, you know. And then Nisi said, then Brigadier Gininda proceeds to say that you told him that subsequent to that, I was then informed by Skumbuzo that we should go meet at the police station or at the head office of the SAPS in Pretoria. In other words, Brigadier Gininda says here that you told him that after you reported this information to your son, who is a police officer, then your son said to you that you will have to accompany him to the head office in Pretoria to go and meet the police in their head offices.
Here's
Zungu
$1
said,
million question. As an investigator, for interest's sake, who follows the trail of things, upon hearing about the brother of Ndans, what is in Mbekiseni? Why don't you approach Mbekiseni? Upon hearing from what Mbekiseni is saying, which would be a double hearsay, then approach the so-called
other brother who has no name in this statement of Brigadier Gininda. I approach them. Akiri, you are an investigating officer, and you don't take them to places. You go to them wherever you find them, or they agree to meet with you, and you write a statement. You write.
Don't go to the parking. You go inside Nongoma police station and have records there.
You read them their rights. You fill in affidavit to record what they told you. Isn't that how it's supposed to be, guys? Is why on this case, they are scaring me. They are scary. They shouldn't be happening. But they are happening, and the way the court is so passive about them, it's like it's typical, it's normal, it's what a police should be doing. And that's where we, as the general public, are now asking ourselves, oh my God. Oh my God. Are we at a point where we are more scared of police officers in uniform?
Are we?
Are we?
Are you even asking that question? Are you even asking that
I'm
question?
asking because I'm trying to remain as objective as I can be. Ooh. But it's very scary that when you encounter a police officer, now you have to think, oh my God, where's my phone? I need to call my lawyer right now. Before they even say pay. Are we at that level? Nisi then said, did you understand what is said here? The interpreter then repeated the question, and Zungu said, I don't even know Pretoria. I don't even know what the place where they took me is or what it is. Nisi then said, according to Brigadier Ginindi, you said to him, which he wrote down, that after you received the information from Bekiseni that Ndanzi Sibi are involved in the killing of Senzo Meyiwa, you then went and narrated that information to your son. And your son then suggested that, no, we need to go and see the police at Pretoria. Zungu said, I am stunned by this aspect of meeting with the police. And then Nisi said, did you say to Gininda that after you told your son that what you heard from Bekiseni, did he say to you, let's go to the police in Pretoria? Zungu said, no. Even if he said we were meeting with the police, I did not see them. Where are those police? One thing also about the thing that worried me is the answers. Sometimes he would say, yabo, and I'm just wondering if the state is not going to use this against them somehow. We're not learned in the law. So those kind of words, they used to worry me. But then I realized how Nisi mitigated the question by asking the question differently to get a clear answer. He had this creative way of transitioning the questions to get what he needs. The clear answers that he needs. So that was kind of impressive. I was worried about that. It was like, you know, I wish you could say ka, yebo, and stuff like that, because, I'm traumatized by what the state has been doing all these years. So Mnisi said, Gininda says you told him that indeed the police were mad and you deposed of this statement to Colonel Gininda, who was with Sergeant Mohani. Gininda said you met with him and Mohani gave this statement. Zungu said, I only recall 2 instances when I met Gininda. There was nowhere where he introduced people to me where it felt like war. You know, that's why I want to know, when did he ever tell me that? Even though I was upset, the temperature was high because the situation I was in. But he never explained anything to me. Even when we went our separate ways at night, he never explained anything to me. He took me and brought me back home. Then Nisi said he further states that you gave him all this information. Zungu said he's telling lies about me with regards to the statement. I will also have my questions regarding how come Gininda says I came to him. Nisi told him that he will still have an opportunity to address that. They're still coming to it. And then Nisi asked him, so what you are saying is his mention of the fact that you deposed the statement to him, that is incorrect. Zungu said, I do not agree to the statement because nothing was done lawfully. If we went into the police station and everything was done correctly, I'd be agreeing to the statement. He pointed out and said that at the police station, a stamp is approved. Then he would read it out to him. You know, after they done a statement, they read it out to you, right? It's a long process. It's a long process of taking a statement. And, you know, he said, is there something to that effect that indicates that? Well, Nisi said, we understand what you're talking about, Mr. Zungu, and I think you're referring to the commissioning of a statement. We'll get to that later on. Nisi then said, Gininda proceeds to say, you said you can identify Mafiga and Danzi to them, but you don't have his photos. Did you ever say that? Well, Zungu said, no, I never said that. I can identify Mafiga even without a photo. So Nisi then asked him, he says you said to him that you know and understand the contents of the statement. Zungu said, I never said so. Baloi and Sibanda, at this point, I noted it because they were kind of loud. I saw them and heard their voices murmuring. The mic picked them up. They were talking to each other, right? The judge said nothing. No, maybe he didn't notice. Or maybe he just doesn't notice. He only notices when the defense. You can go check it out. The timestamp, I think it's 44 minutes and 7 seconds. Just go check it out. I heard that and I picked it up and I'm like, oh my God, why are they so loud? But then it is what it is in that court. Well, then Nisi said from there are pictures, there are signatures that are appearing on the bottom of the page there. Unfortunately, the copies that they were handed by the state, the signatures were cut out. He said they did not have a full view of the nature of the signatures. Nisi said, I requested yesterday a better version of the statement from the state. Probably the state is still preparing it. And while they are busy preparing it, we can proceed to the next page. So in these copies that were given to the defense, the signature is cut out. All the copies that were given to them.
Yeah.
I don't know what could have caused that cut out situation. Is it a coincidence?
Printing machine.
Or is it a mistake?
You know what happened, man.
Or maybe it was folded
The ink
and
just
they didn't.
decided to not print the thing. Hey, it happens. Hey, it prints everything properly and then it doesn't print there.
That one it shocked me.
Aye.
Well, Nisi said, according to him, he further states that you said to him that you had no objection to the taking of the prescribed oath and you consider the prescribed oath to be binding on your conscience. Zungu said, I know nothing about that. Nisi then said, one of the few things that are very crucial in this statement, I see that this statement is taken in English. Did you ever narrate the statement to Brigadier Gininda in English? Well, Zungu said, no. None. Nisi then said, normally when a person who gives this statement in a language, either than English, maybe in a vernacular language, the person who converts, meaning translates what the deponent is saying into English, would, after the statement has been completed, would then read it back to the deponent, what the deponent had been telling them. You are saying the people who were with you, taking this statement, which is a place you can't, mention, what you were saying, and you were saying all these things. and Brigadier Gininda was there writing. Zungu said, yes, he was talking to those other people and he would be writing. Right. Nisi then said, after this statement was written, as you are saying, you never said anything. Were there any attempts made to read it to you just to indicate what is contained in the statement? Zungu said, no, it wasn't done, because when you do something not according to procedure or the manner in which it is supposed to be done, it is not easy for you to tell me everything that you're doing.
Yeah.
So Mnisi then said, Brigadier Gininda then told this court that after you gave this statement, he then requested you to append your signature on the statement. The time at which you did this was 1625 on the same date of the 17th of November 2019. Mnisi said that he says you signed this statement, and Zungu said, I never signed it. Whose signature is that?
Okay, so here, Emily, we have Mandla Ngobo Mapolobo Uti. In his view, he thinks that the man agreed to be used or to work with his son and the crew. Then later decided to withdraw. Now it is becoming a problem because I feel he's hiding some of the information. Zungu, one thing about Zungu, he admitted that upon the approach and persistence of his son,
yes,
he agreed telephonically to actually go on and proceed with this thing. So it's not a secret. Because he wanted to meet this Gininda that his son keeps on talking about.
That's how I read it.
Yes.
That's how I picked it up, is because he wanted to see this
But
Gininda.
here's the catch, Mandla, that you need to look at. If he agreed and executed, now that's a different. He didn't go on to execute that agreement because according to him, he didn't want that thing, Vele. So that's why there's a missing signature. And if he's the one who signed with his name there, he's the smartest person that I've ever met, because he would have just distorted his own signature by not using his signature but using his name. I doubt he did that. They came with a statement. They did what they did the way I think he's narrating. I don't think he's hiding something because, one, he's had. Two, this is an old man. Not saying that old men don't do crime. They can. But this is a man
who's got a lot to lose.
A family, emahlabathini, next door of this guy, Umuzi. Next door of Umuzi, Ubaba Kamuzi. Who's still alive and even younger than him. Not far from Ntanzi, and actually relatives with Ntanzi. Uzalo mzala wakhe. The very same man who was helping a brother of Ntanzi, staying with the brother Ntanzi. The very same time this whole thing was happening.
Yes.
How do you think you would have sold the brother of Ubani Kamalga Putantanz? Mpekseni, while he stays with Mpekseni and leaves the key for Mpekseni to access his room? What kind of
and even trusted him so much that he would ask him to go fetch my son in town and bring him to me. That's the level of trust.
Yes, seeing all these things unfolding. Then you go on and sell the brother on the other side.
I'm inclined to also not believe that he did that. What makes me not believe he did that is when he mentioned that I was curious about this Gininda. I wanted to see this Gininda.
And he did.
He was seeing his son acting out of character.
Yes.
As a parent, when you are seeing your son now speaking a language, that is very concerning. Are you not interested in finding out who's influencing
that person? That's what he did. He agreed. He even says,
because you want to know.
He even said upon boarding on that van, they took him and put him at the back.
Yes.
And they started saying, why are you changing, man? Why are you changing? Why are you saying things and then you change?
And he's confused.
He's saying the very same thing, that yes, I agreed because I wanted to seek it in.
I did not agree to take a statement.
But already there was a change of hearts when he refused to be called Ukumal.
Yes.
And then they realized that they put him on the van the day of the so-called statement taking. And somewhere they changed and they said, go back, sit there with the other guys that they got along the way, some of them. And then they started putting him down. They said, when you khuluma into shintsha wena. The man
because
is admitting what I'm trying to
them assurance that he's going to
play along. What I'm trying to say is that he's agreeing with you, Mandla, that yes, I agreed because I wanted to see this person who's influencing my son.
I want to know who's busy putting.
But as Gininde kept on calling, he says he was calling him Kumalo that they agreed upon. Ziligas. But he refused to be called Mziligas Shoban.
That's when Gininde now.
That's when Gininde then brought the crew.
Yeah. And then they put him in there.
So I don't think there's something is hiding. I doubt there's something is hiding. His story has been consistent from the word go.
From the word go, I watched that interview again. He doesn't miss a beat.
No, he doesn't miss.
And the efforts that he's making to even come and appear before a court, he was not called to come and testify in. Sleeping in garage. Do you see the effort that he's making?
For someone who's hiding something.
For someone who's hiding something, you wouldn't do that.
You're facing the enemy head on.
Head on.
The enemy who one would probably perceive as the most dangerous enemy.
Yes.
You are in their territory. Because being in Joburg, then that means you are exposed. You are not in your normal zone.
Who would do that if
and we claim that he's still hiding something?
You should look at that testimony again. Look at it. Listen. Observe.
Roman, thank you. God bless you.
Thank you.
I think he opened a case against them. And look, that's like literally provoking. The police, they don't want people who open the case against them. In my opinion, I've never seen them being happy. There's nothing he's hiding, this man. So, you can look at all avenues.
And just look. Just look at
he's
that
just
pot.
here to show you this man is more protective of his family than one son who decided to dish him. However you might read it according to him. You know, because he's even saying, if I die, it's because of my son and Gininde. So you it's not easy
to say
for someone who's
like
got kids, other kids at home, to sell his people. For what? For what? For a man that you paid the license for to go and feather his position there by SAPS, you assisted as a father, and then all of a sudden the man comes back and speaks the language that you don't understand.
Well, Mnisi said that the state gave us a copy where the signature is cut out. That's why we are saying we're unable to decipher what kind of a signature is that one, and requested the state to furnish us with a full version of a paper that has got all the signatures in it. But on the last page, Gininde says, however, they showed you where to sign. The question is, did you ever sign a document, such a document as this? Zungu said no, and even that signature is not his. Nisi then said, now he further says that the certifies that the above statement was made before him, and the deponent has acknowledged he knows and understands the contents of the statement. The statement was signed before me, and the deponent's signature placed there in my presence at Maupanaga building at the National Commissioner Office, Pretoria, on Sunday, 17, 2019 at 16:25. So in simple terms, Brigadier Gininda is saying here that you have admitted that you gave him in the statement, and the content of the statement, that is, you signed the statement in his presence. Zungu said, even that place that is mentioned, irrespective of my conditions at the time, I wouldn't know. And I also don't know the statement. So Mnisi asked him, what did you say about that signature? Zungu said, I said that they wrote whatever they wrote here. This is not my signature. If Gininda says this is my signature, did he take anything from me to confirm that indeed this is my signature? Mnisi then said, so you are maintaining that this is not your signature? Zungu said, no, it's not my signature. And Mnisi said, and you further maintain that you never signed a document before Brigadier Gininda? Zungu said, no, there's none. When did I even get time to get used to him? It was my first time seeing him. And then when I was able to do all these things for him in one day, what would be so special or charming about him that I would say these things? Another thing is that I'm hearing that there was another police officer there. Where is the signature of that police officer? Nisi then said, we'll come to that. Now you can say that the day you were taken from Emelo to that house, you do not know. It was actually a son who came to you, not so. And Zungu said he was there. And it was your son who said to you, he was requesting you to come and meet other people who he was in company with or who were in his company. Zungu said he called me. He first started by telling me that Gininda wants to see me. Even on that day, he was the one who arrived because Gininda didn't know my house. I don't know whether my son knew with regards to other things. I don't know. It's my son who called me and said Gininda was calling me. Gininda didn't know my place of residence. Nisi then asked, did anyone say to you, Mr. Zungu, we are here? We have come to request you to accompany us to a particular place for this purpose. Zungu said, none, no one. Okay? And then Nisi asked him, they just said to him, you get in the vehicle and we want to take a turn to go to town. And then you got into the vehicle with the understanding that you will be driving to town and then be coming back. Zungu said that there was my son whom I knew. I would not have gone in with people I didn't know because even Gininda was unknown to me. Zungu said he thought they were just going to Emelo in town because he even left his house unlocked because he thought, we're going to town, we're going to come back. Zungu said that he asked where they were taking him as soon as he realized that they were actually passing by the town of Emelo. And their response was, Asizozwa ngawe, meaning we're not going to be told anything by you. So Zungu said, I kept quiet. I could see what was happening outside. People die easily. Kidnapped and then killed. I was just grateful that I came out alive. Zungu confirmed that he obliged and did as he was told. He obliged and did as he was told. Nisi then said in that moment, Brigadier Gininda is in that vehicle. Zungu said he was there. Nisi said, yeah, I must tell you, Mr. Zungu, that was abduction. You were abducted. You were taken against your will. You were misled. You were fraudulently removed from your place. That was abduction. And Zungu said that is how he also saw it. The manner in which it was happening. And Nisi let him know that, yes, in South African law, that is a criminal offense. It was kidnapped. Well, Nisi then said, even on the day you were left in the middle of nowhere, did you see your son after that day? Zungu said, truth be told, I never saw him again. Up to this day, he would telephone me now and again, but he never came to where I stayed. And then Nisi asked him, did you see Gininda again after this encounter, after he took you to some place or house? Zungu said, yes. Right? Nisi then said, Now, can you take this court through the circumstances you saw him? And if you so remember, when was that? Let's start here. When was that? Well, Zungu said, even though I may make a mistake with the date, it was 2023. I might mistake the date or the month. The trial was already ongoing. It was 2023, guys. The trial had already begun. Mnisi then said, where did you see him? Zungu said he contacted me telephonically and he said that he wanted to see me. Well, Mnisi said, remember when he called you the other time, you told this court that he called you Kumalo. When he called you this time, what did he call you? Zungu said, I was now Zungu. So Mnisi said he called you, and then what happened? Zungu said he wanted to see me. Then I asked him where he was. He said he was in Gauteng. I was also in the usual area in KZN, but I was in KZN in the area of Dundee. There were people I was working with. We call each other each time. Maybe there's a ceremony or umcimbi because we stayed a long time working together at work.
Yeah.
So he said, I informed Gininda I was in Newcastle area and I said he must come there if he wants to see me. He called the following day. We did not see each other on the first day. We saw each other on the following day. He was already in Newcastle. We had spoken and I was also waiting for as we had spoken. Knowing our history and me being afraid of him, when he was called, he asked me where I was. I told him to come meet me at the police station. He arrived at the police station. He was in a car, but the color was bright. He was using a red car, traveling with a white lady. Babzungu said,
Guys, are you noticing that as the case was proceeding, then people were closing loopholes? I think the statement of Ubabu ABSALOM, indeed, it was not signed, that so-called statement that was made. So now,
2023.
if you compare that to what happened to Ndanze, having these two confessions, these are two alleged confessions, who was this white lady? Could it be the court, as the court pleases?
Hey.
Who now wanted to make sure that they put a nail on a coffin by making sure that they get the signature and they close all the loopholes.
Hey, plus you heard even the court
and
say
then
that
it is important that Zung is saying now he was being referred to as Zung.
He was, maybe there were plans to charge him as well. Was ban.
Or they were just accepting, they wanted him to appear as such. But one thing for sure, if we compare this to Rodovan Crasher's case, there are allegations there that a person assumed a certain profile to testify in that case, right?
With the fake name.
We even
and
had a
everything.
caller here was saying that was his brother. This case was following to that. And in that other case, one way or another, Gininda was also there. I'm just saying.
He took
it's one of those
confession,
things that
in Kretschmer's case.
Yes, that we look at and compare. Now, back to the question, Yamandla, saying that why did Ubaba ABSALOM, upon seeing this picture that he was shown by his son and talked about Ubgebeng, if you listen to Ubaba ABSALOM, he wanted to talk about something at the beginning that ingane yakhe besiqala ukuyenza angayithandi, that he never talked about. So already he was in this mood of saying, my son is up to something that is not right. So when he saw the picture of his neighbors, what did you think? The son that never visits you, all of a sudden is visiting you, and they have a picture of your neighbor that they don't even stay with, that they probably would not know much about. All the way from Ghana.
Strange behavior.
Yeah, strange behavior. They come unannounced. They start telling you stories about this thing, and they keep on talking about this certain thing. So why would you not be worried? and
As
start
a
looking at
parent.
that ubugebengu. Uma umbuza uthi usithathe usitshontshile. Ubugebengu lobo. Ungitshontsha umuntu umshudu ubugebengu lobo. So what the father was right.
Well, Bab Zungu said he doesn't know cars and is not using a car himself, and he doesn't like reading the names of people's cars. So he said even though he doesn't remember the numbers, he had written them down. And he said when he wrote them down, he lost the item where he had written these number plates down. He said he doesn't recall if there was a 62 on those numbers. It's like a Mazda. Personally, my opinion, I think it's the red Golf. I just have a hunch or a
What
feeling.
if it's Qashqai?
Or maybe it's a Qashqai.
The one that
But they're saying it's red. Or maybe they changed the paint.
was it not what was the color of the one that they used to Musa?
I remember gray. I remember Musi saying it was gray or something like that.
Was it gray?
I remember him saying it was gray. But this red car, I have suspicions it could be that red Golf. And remember, the AVLs of this red Golf did not make it to court. So it's just unfortunate that he didn't know the exact car that came. Nisi then said, what you are trying to say is that it was shaped like a Mazda, and Advocate Nisi is smart for this, because he should not say with certainty that it's a Mazda. What if it's that red Golf? What if? What if? We must open that loophole if it is there. Or Zungu said that he wouldn't be certain to say it was exactly a Mazda, but this car, because he would be lying. Zungu said it's a small vehicle and he compared it to a Mazda, right? And Zungu said he parked it in front of the police station. He got off and he noticed it's him. Since they last saw each other on that occasion, or on that day where they kidnapped him allegedly, he said he noticed him. And Mnisi said, the day that you are referring to, what day was it? The one where you say you met on this one occasion? And Zungu said, when I saw him for the first time, I saw him with regards to the statement he's making mention of. I then got closer to the car. The car was closer to the police. The police were just outside. The police station was open, the Newcastle police station. He said their car was facing the direction where the police were standing. And Mrs. asked him, why were the police looking? Did you request for them to be on the lookout of what was happening or what? Well, Zungu said no. Let me be clear. The police were visible from the church office. The vehicle just parked in front of the place, but it was at a parking area where they stopped. Then Zungu said, why did I call him to meet at the police station? Firstly, is because it was my son who contacted me after he was done testifying in this court. He then said to me, but we were not fighting when he told me this. He said that he was with Gininda. They asked to meet with me from Newcastle.
After he testified in court?
Yes. He said that there are farms after he testified in court in 2023. Zungu testified in 2023, October. Well, he said there are farms called Utrecht. He told me that they were asking...
Those who are from KZN know it as Utrecht. What is Utrecht? Yeah, it's opposite to Newcastle Usizweni, I think. You pass by when you are going... Is it R23? When you are going to or from KZN. Yeah, it's just the smaller nyana, either to call it a shopping center or what, or a town, that Drech town. Then you can see those farmers there, those farms there that are there. There's not much happening there.
Why such an isolated place? Oh my God.
Very suspicious.
Why would you want to meet in such a place? What happened to entering a police station? this is stressing me. He said he told me that they were asking me to meet with them at this Utrecht area. This place has a lot of farms. There are cows. The houses are far apart from each other. My son said to me that they would like to meet with me there. But he said that they were asking me not to come with anyone else. And also don't tell them where they were going.
That would mean these people from Volkras, they took the left. I think it's R34, R23. I'm not sure. The road keeps on changing. They could have went to Newcastle straight from Utrecht, straight shoot to Newcastle. They off-ramped past the Newcastle, leaving Newcastle on their right.
So they left. They passed Newcastle.
Yes, because remember, around that Utrecht, there is a road from Utrecht up to, I think, Osizweni, if I'm not mistaken. Basically, you can use that road and then go up to Newcastle, or you can take a short one from Volkras, from Joburg, go straight to Newcastle town, and you get the police there. They passed there, passed Newcastle a bit, went down as if they are going to Ngqut or Vryheid. Opposite Newcastle. Opposite, because the other side is Newcastle. Indeed, that area is isolated. One thing for sure, if you observe, it is very isolated.
Bab Zungu said he never went there. Okay, he said that there's a lot that happened when it comes to Gininda. Even what was said before that I should change my surname, and this thing of placing me in Pretoria, where the place he has stated is Pretoria, that is the reason that made me request that we meet at the police station. He said that he did not talk to the police, but Gininda asked for a place to talk from the police. He said they entered the place in the police station. They were able to sit down, and he said in that room it was himself, Gininda, and a white lady. Zungu said he then started by apologizing to me. Gininda said Gininda apologized to him about how they had taken him, that other time. He then said
it's like a bribery sort of, if you might call it. It's like, yeah, I know, man, we fought. Let us pour water in this thing. And let us start afresh, in a sense, in my opinion. So that white lady, whoever that white lady was, God knows who was that white lady. Our CCTV could help, but it's probably not there. Was there to take a new statement.
He then said to me that he was requesting that I come and testify for him. He said that if I testify for him, he would take me to other countries like Eswatini, Zimbabwe, Lesotho, things like that. He told me that they would take me to countries like that and look for a place for me so that I'm guarded or provided with protection. Zungu said he would like to apologize if he's the one in the wrong and not lie on Gininda, because he said he's actually the one who gave examples of actually mentioning these countries. Guys, do you think this man would lie? Look at how he even corrects himself, respectfully so. He says, I actually mentioned these countries as a way of giving an example, but they did not come out of Gininda's mouth. He said he asked me if I was afraid of being guarded, having people protect me like the officers here in court. I then told him that I was not agreeing to that because I did not need that kind of life, because I grew up without knowing such a life. I would not be able to live such a life. It's not suited for me. And then he said that he asked me if I didn't want to. I said, no, I don't want to, because I will agree. Then tomorrow you will put me in trouble. Even if I were to call you, you'd not answer your phone. And then I'm stuck there outside of the country. He said, I will be in trouble agreeing that you take me outside of the country. You know?
Positioning me.
Imagine being stuck in a foreign country and you'd be subjected to conditions that I would rather not speak of. Stranded. Wazungu said that he then said it's fine, we'll see each other again and talk. He then said okay.
So you see how the white magistrate Oh no.
She was there.
No, the white
Let
magistrate.
us not say magistrate.
So
the
the
white
magistrate,
lady.
allegedly.
The white lady.
The white lady.
She was there to possibly take
He
a
didn't say
statement.
anything because they didn't get to finalize everything.
I need to imagine it was a police station where they.
But one thing for sure, the truth keeps on giving, in my opinion. People were saying, hey, Dance is refusing the record. Who was this white lady? If this white lady is who we think it was, which I'm not going to say the name, that would mean that that white lady then allowed the situation when Dance was assaulted in front of him. Then started recording after the assault. I'm just saying allegedly.
Can you imagine? Usbia was pointing and he said, Hadebe was telling me to point and I would point. So what more can happen if you are being beaten and told to say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? And then a magistrate just happens to press record. At the most convenient time, allegedly. Now, Babu Zungu said, what I mean by that is we did not even spend 30 minutes. We never even reached a point of that statement. Then we went our separate ways. Nisi said that he requested you to come and testify. Did he tell you in what case was he requesting you to come and testify in? He meant the one he was apologizing for, that he took me and we did not reach an agreement and things were not done properly. Ubab Zungu said, because I think that when you speak to someone and you're asking for something, you speak to that person and make a request, because you would pick these papers. He was even demonstrating with the papers that he had and write on them and state what you want to say. But if you see that we don't agree or I'm reluctant, you'd say we don't agree and give me time, maybe let's say 14 days, and then we'll meet on another day. Not to say that now you want me to write the statement today when we just met. You know, and it makes me think of how the police system initially was designed to work, because you'd have police officers writing in their pocket books, you understand? And then as they're interviewing, you know, or at least that's the impression we were given, that the first interview is actually done with a pocketbook, right? And then you come back for a proper statement. And when you come back for a proper statement, you work with the witness or with the person who's going to testify like that. You are not at your first encounter meeting this person. You don't know whether they saw what they saw. And honestly, you can't get the full story in 5 minutes of you meeting them. It doesn't work like that.
Let's press the like button, guys. Let's push for 400 likes.
Well, Nisi said that now that I want to find out is, did your conversation, the one that did not even last for 30 minutes, get into details about what is it that you had to come and testify about in this request, that you should come and testify? Well, Zungu said he did not give me details, but I also knew, because we had met before, that it was with regards to me testifying for him on this issue pertaining to Meyiwa. Now, Nisi said because of the disagreement, then you parted ways and you were never going to agree. And Zungu said, yes, I was never going to agree. Even if he said, I will give you a lift from there, and said I will drop you closer to where you stayed, I would have never agreed. Even now, I will not agree, because I know that what they wanted to do with my son. Gininda can't, as he doesn't know me, just ambush me and make statements in my absence while he was brought to me by my son. I'm going to make a request that you allow me to get into the statement. Nisi then said, thank you, Mr. Zungu, that you will definitely get. After you parted ways, did you ever meet again with Brigadier Gininda? We never met again, is what Bab Zungu said. I just heard him talking about me in court. We met only twice. I will not lie about him. I don't hate him. Even my son, I don't hate him. What I'm just saying is that we only met twice, because I saw how we met. There's nothing I will agree to him or agree with to them, because even now, should anything happen to me or any harm happen to me, I have no grudge with anyone. Those who will be able to take me home, I know I would have been killed by Gininda and my son. I wanted to speak about the statement Gininda said I made because I know what was being buried here. Well, Mnisi said, yeah, we'll give you that opportunity, Mr. Zungu, but rest assured, you are in safe hands now. The court is looking and the court will put all mechanisms in place that nothing happens to you because you are vital, not only to this house, but the court himself. Ha ha.
Let's press the like button.
When Mnisi said this, I'm like, but it's a good thing to say. We're just saying it for vibes at this point. Mnisi then said, when your son Skumbuzo Zungu testified, he told this court that the reason why you came to Pretoria, it was because you had to come and confirm that he grew up in KwaNongoma. Zungu said, now the question is, did Skumbuzo or Gininda ever request you to come to Pretoria to confirm that he grew up in KwaNongoma? This is Mnisi asking the question. Well, Zungu responded and said, we've never talked about that because my son never grew up in KwaNongoma. He grew up in Kandla. He ended up visiting, but his appointment as a police officer, after he got appointed, he never visited my home. Mnisi then asked him, just to confirm what I asked you on the proceedings of the 11th of October 2023, when he was cross-examined by Mr. Ramasipili, this is what he said. Ramasipili asked him, and you would not know with whom he came to Pretoria for the noting down of the statement. And the answer that came from Zungu was, all I know is that I had to bring my parent, meaning one parent, to come and confirm that indeed I grew up in KwaNongoma. Now here's Zungu's father saying that Zungu did not grow up in KwaNongoma. He grew up in Nkandla.
Again, accused 1
Microphone, Mr. Anonymous.
Again, accused 1 and 2 are vindicated.
Well, he said, I'm making a mistake then. Accused number 1, Sibia can correct me since he is the one of the same age. He was attending school at KwaNongoma. Then what would have meant, if he was attending school at KwaNongoma, then what would have meant is that he was staying with me. So he was never staying with me. He grew up with his mother. He grew up at his mother's home. Nisi then asked him, so this information that this parent that here is being talked about, were to come and confirm that he grew up in Nongoma, was incorrect because he never discussed that with you. Well, Zungu said it's not true. He never grew up in Nongoma because even other Zungu family members just met him in Gauteng. And then they then realized that he was a police officer. But here in Gauteng is what he was saying. Well, Mnisi said there was no final agreement up to this point between you and Brigadier Gininda that you should come and testify. Well, Zungu said, no, there has never. We never called again. That was in Newcastle. He never made contact with me up until now.
It's checking up. This man says, I refuse on our second meeting. Now the state is coming with theories of triple hearsay and whatnot. But there is an interesting take from one of our subscribers who wrote on what do you call it? On Twitter. I mean, sorry, not on Twitter, on WhatsApp. Sorry, yes, you're right. Judge Rata used the very same hearsay statement of ABSALOM Zung in his judgment of accused number 4.
The application 174.
Section 174 of MAPISA. So, how the prosecutor and the judge now distancing themselves from what the evidence of ABSALOM Zung by saying it is not considered by the court. The same evidence that is admitted in court as Exhibit DD just before Friday, the record was not aware that the evidence of Exhibit DD is not considered by the court, but still accused 1 and 2 are still being prosecuted till this day on a triple hearsay evidence that that courtroom is a crime scene indeed. Very important take. There are a lot of things that have subsequently happened because of this so-called triple hearsay that today the court is distancing themselves, even the state, on. They have made decision based on that.
Wow. He said, if my memory serves me well as well, Brigadier Gininda also told this court that the reason why you could not come to testify in court is because you were fearing for your life, which is the reason why you could not come to this court and testify in this case, because you were fearing for your life. Well, Advocate Baloyi objected to this, and this objection to me came as a surprise. I don't want to lie. He said he doesn't think that's how Brigadier Gininda put it. He said, I think the state made it clear that the beginning, from the beginning, that witness evidence was hearsay evidence. From the beginning. He said, I think what Brigadier Gininda said was that people were unwilling to come forth with information because of the fact that people who were involved are family and there is an element of fear, but not about testifying. So if this hearsay evidence, or this is hearsay evidence, what about Zungu's evidence? What about it? Because he says he heard from his father. And
the judge used it also.
So what about that?
He said when he was saying accused number 4 had something to answer on, he said it's not only the alleged confessions, but there is Zungu's evidence.
Yes.
Whether it's reliable or not, but he says he saw them.
Yes.
Zungu's evidence is based on his father's evidence.
This is so confusing.
And then a bit of him being part and he was there during the time when they were drinking.
So the state is denouncing some supportive evidence for their main witness. They are denouncing it. So how is this going to work? What is the case? What is the state's case?
That's why I said it doesn't have a stem, but there is a tree.
Nisi said, as I said in my if my memory serves me well, I think this is what Brigadier Gininda said. But I then appreciate what the state did, because on account of massive oral evidence, and we do know that Brigadier Gininda's oral evidence is massive. Okay, it's massive, huge. He can't stop talking. He said that has already been accused, or the accused here at court. He cannot be faulted to say that this witness said exactly this. Actually, what the state did is just a correction of what I thought Brigadier Gininda said. I really appreciate what the state did, because we are all here to assist the court. Well, Baloyi came through with the record. He said on the 17th of October 2024, Brigadier Gininda testified that Constable Zungu indicated that he will try and persuade his father to have an interview with Brigadier Gininda and have his statement obtained. But he said that it was clear that there was a fear of reprisal, that if it was not handled properly, it was clear that people were going to lose their lives. That is what he testified. So now an impression is created here that even that statement was never even done to begin with, but it is there in court. They are now creating the impression that even that statement was never done. I don't know what's going on. with the state. Well, Mnisi said, I've indicated that I appreciate what the state did, although I was specifically referring to the reason that was advanced by Brigadier Gininde as to why Mr. Mzungu could come and testify on behalf of the state, not from the reason that was given by Sizwe Zungu himself, but that is not a train smash. Mnisi leaned to speak to Ramasipili and asked if there's something that his colleague wanted to say, and then he came back and said that there was something that they were confirming, that the state put on record that people couldn't testify for fear of reprisal. Well, judge said, but now he was calling Gininda Kwamanda, said that he's afraid to come and testify for the fear of his life. The judge looked upset at this point, in my opinion and observation, and when he was saying this, and Mnisi said it's in respect to another witness, and they will get to that aspect, right? So Mnisi said, then, is it correct that in the course of this year, you made a statement at Newcastle Police Station where you detail certain factors? And Zungu said, yes, I did make a statement, but I didn't go there with the intention to do so. I went there to talk. And Mnisi asked him, can you please indicate what did you go for? Zungu said, my name was being spoken about and I was not being called to court. People were asking me why I'm quiet, yet my name is being spoken about in Pretoria. I then said that there was no letter that came from the state that lets me know that I have to come and testify. Even up until now, I have never been called and I have never been told anything. Nisi said, who were the people who were concerned? And Zungu said, just people in the neighborhood. He said someone gave him a number of one of the people from TikTok to go and talk there. He said, it came to me that if I were to talk here or there on TikTok, I would just say whatever it is that I know. Maybe I will get a chance to be called by the court. He said, I then went there to talk. After talking to them, they told me that if there is anything to what they were doing with me there, it's better to go to the police station, and the police station must know what we were doing here. Yeah. Hey, TikTok is sebenzile. Oh. This is where I take my moment and say, hi, basebenzile bafana. A slow clap.
But are you noticing that Nis did not put that statement on record?
No, he didn't.
And watch Baloyi cross-examine on it. He's going to have to put it on record.
Yes.
And you know what's going to happen?
What's going to happen?
Then that will allow Babuzung to go and talk about everything that he wants to talk about.
Thank you. Oh, what a glorious day it will be. Well, Mnisi said, in other words, they said to you, let's go and legitimize what we were doing here through the police station. Zungu said, yes, to legitimize it, so that even if there are some talks, it's not said that once, you did say something and then you say something else, they were doing it for that. It was just for that. So Zungu said he went to the police station to confirm what he said there. And I'm thinking it's a live that he went on. I'm just thinking, I'm not sure. Well, he said, which I'm still saying. And Mnisi said, I'm going to show you a document. Can you confirm if you're able to identify it? The interpreter went through the signatures on each page with Ubab Zungu, and he was able to have a look at them. And he said that those were his signatures. It's a 4-page statement. It was after he interacted with the people on TikTok and then was advised and said that there's nothing untoward which happened between them, because now maybe there will be an impression created that maybe they forced him or something bad happened. No, he's saying none of that happened. He said he got into the police station and made a statement of what they were talking about in his TikTok thing. And it is what they were doing. It was nothing bad that they were doing. Well, Mnisi requested the statement to be handed as an exhibit. Then he went back to the statement of Brigadier Gininda narrating what ABSALOM Zungu told him. And Mnisi said, according to Brigadier Gininda, you signed this document in his presence. You put your signature there, and as a commissioner of oath, Zungu said no, he never signed that. That is not his signature. Unfortunately, the copy that they handed the state, it did not have all the signatures still, and some of the signatures were cut out, right? But then he requested that they furnish them with the original documents where all the signatures were available. He said they got assistance eventually with that document. So they handed up the original document that they have, and it was projected on the screen. So after the long adjournment, Ubab Jonas left and there was another interpreter. I have to be honest, I was not happy. I just felt very frustrated because things were not getting direct translations. And when that happens, it makes my job very difficult. Okay? So Zungu identified the document on the left as his ID, right? And on the right, it was a statement of Brigadier Gininda, and it said Babu Zungu, and signed in his presence. Nisi asked for the signature to be enlarged, right? To be zoomed. And Mnisi asked, did you know that signature? And Zungu said, no, I don't know that signature. Mnisi now went through every single signature on that document with Babu Zungu, and said, Babu Zungu said they were not his signatures. He confirmed the signature on his ID though. He said that one is his signature. Mnisi then asked him, what would you say about the signature that you made on the 8th of July 2015 at Newcastle, where you were explaining to the police about your interaction with the people at TikTok and the signature that is appearing on what you are identifying as your ID card? Zungu said, both these signatures are mine, and I'm the one who signed there, even though the other one is below the line. But yes, Zungu was able to read what the signature on Gininda's statement said, and the signature was written ABSALOM. Nisi then said, is this an indication that your signature on the document was prepared by Brigadier Gininda, or that was prepared by Brigadier Gininda was forged? Because you are saying that this is not your signature. Well, Baloy objected, saying it's a leading question. Well, the judge said it's leading, ne? But I said it's up to counsel to argue to that point. So it seems a witness is not allowed to say that their signature is forged. I don't know. I can't be in a court and say this signature is not mine, it was forged. I can't say that. Nisi then rephrased the question and said, on the basis of the fact that you are saying that the signature that is appearing on the document that was prepared by Brigadier Gininda is not your signature, and it's different from the signatures that you identified initially, what is your comment? Well, Baloy said once again, counsel is suggesting that the signatures are different. I don't know on what basis he's saying that. I think it's a matter of argument. We will, on the face of it, argue it differently. So Baloy is saying that the signature is not different to the one that is written ABSALOM from Gininda's statement.
The ABSALOM one is not different from the signature that we probably saw on when Babu Zungu had that interview, which is not ABSALOM, written ABSALOM.
Uti, they are not different. Yeah. Nisi then said the two signatures that you're saying, the other one you said is your signature and the other one you're saying is not your signature, are they the same? Zungu said no, they're not the same. That one on the statement is in print and they only wrote a name. And this one that's coming from his ID is an actual signature. So Nisi then said, I know you're not a handwriting specialist, but if you know your signature, you know it. Nobody can deny that. Now, on the basis of the fact that you are saying that they are not the same, can you comment? The interpreter at this point stopped interpreting and said he doesn't know what the lawyer is doing and they are not listening, because Advocate Nisi had leaned a bit to Ramasipeli, you know. It was strange. He stopped interpreting and he said, Mr. Mnisi is busy there doing whatever he's doing. He's not listening. This lit a fire in the judge. It did. He said, Mnisi, when he stopped having that conversation with Ramasipili, he actually apologized and said, I'm sorry, my colleagues are drawing their attention to me. My apologies. I should always be concentrating on you. Hi, oh Judge, you should apologize to the court. Well, Mnisi said, yes, I apologize to the court. Well, the judge said, you know what? Today I brought this thing. He started now reading from a piece of paper, the notes that he prepared, which means he's been sitting on this for quite some time, in my opinion, if it's coming prepared like that. It's a code of conduct for all legal practitioners, candidate legal practitioners and justice entities. He said this has been gazetted 168 of 2019 as the South African Practice Council, the code of conduct made under the authority of Section 36(1) of the Legal Practice Act 28 of 2014. That's why I'm able to say, if you want to see it, what you're doing is not correct. You ask a person a question and thereafter you speak to Mr. Ramusipiri. This fool of a judge says, okay, yeah. Yo. He looked enraged. Nisi said, no, I'm not asking Ramusipili. He just caught my attention, right? And then the judge started shouting, yeah, but you were talking to Mr. Ramusipili. Was he not talking to you? Asking Ramusipili there. And Ramusipili said he was. And then the judge said, you never asked whether you should check something with him and how I'm treated as a black judge. Oh, my way. When I say this, but Utanda Belungu. He was really upset. Nisi then said, I think the court is wrong in factoring a race. Whether you are a white person, whether you are a black person, mistakes do happen. It does not mean that which has now happened is because the court is black. And he said, and I have never seen a court that is black or a court that is white. I only see a court. I don't see color. I've passed that stage a long time ago. Yeah, you have to pass this stage, eh? Sometimes it can limit you.
Please
you have
the
to pass the
guys.
stage. You must just be Dilulu like everyone and not see color sometimes, just so you can function as a human being in your job, right? And he said, as I said, my Lord, I apologize profusely. I did not intend to offend anything or anyone. It's just the nature of the trial. I'm sorry. This is emotionally intelligent in my opinion for this, because this is not easy, right? I don't think it could have been easy when you felt like, oh, I'm being instigated here to give a negative response. But he kept his cool and he apologized and kept it moving, which was a wise decision in my opinion. So Zungu commented on the signature and he said it means that there are other easy ways that could have been used to sign that document, and those means could be criminal, as these signatures are not the same. There's a way of doing where in place of him writing the right thing, and when a person is trying to impose or copy the original, they end up now making mistakes. So the interpreter left out ubgebengu here, the criminality aspect of things in his interpretation, and Zungu said, I mean, because Nisi actually pointed it out to the interpreter that there's a word there that you left out that you didn't interpret, right? And then Zungu said again that I mean that when you change what is written, you try to imitate, by implementing your own. And he asked also that his signatures be compared with the signatures that he has at FNB, ABSA, SASA, and Home Affairs to see if they will not match the one that he's already shared before the court. Well, the interpreter added Standard Bank because I even replayed Ubaba ABSALOM Zungu never said Standard Bank. But the interpreter added it in his interpretation. Ubaba Zungu said that if anyone does not believe him, they are free to bring those documents. And Nisi said, thank you. You seem to have a clue of what is happening in court. That is to prove beyond reasonable doubt that your signature is not the one appearing in those documents that Brigadier Gininda said you prepared. And this is what you're basically saying. The court has heard and we will wait for the comment from the court. Now the judge asks, which comment do you want, sir? Mr. Baloyi has already long conceded. Stand up again and repeat that concession because you are not listening. Repeat the concession about the handwritings. Well, Baloyi said, my lord, we said we will argue differently regarding those signatures. Then he sat down, okay? But the judge said, he said he'll argue differently. I can't make a ruling now anyway. So, what is the concession? Nisi then said, the court asked me what comment I'm expecting from the court. The judge said, no, Mr. Baloyi says he will argue differently. That's what he says. Nisi asked for a brief indulgence with Ramasepeli again, and the judge asked Nxumalo if he knew that amended code of ethics. Well, Nisi said that the fact that there's something illegal might have happened with your signature now turning to Babu Zungu. How does that make you feel? Well, Zungu said there's nothing further to state. Whose signature is that? That is not my signature. The one on the statement, and the court can see the difference for itself. Nisi said that, you hear him ask whose signature that was, and it had not been interpreted. Well, the interpreter left that out. While Nisi unfortunately or fortunately had to now use isiZulu, and he said that it is a common language between himself and the witness. What the interpreter, while in the meantime with this phrase and question, he apologized and said that he was not done. He needed to confirm something with the witness before interpreting. Well, Nisi said because an impression was created in court by your son, Constable Zungu and Brigadier Gininda in their testimony threw out that those are the sources of information that they got, information relating to the complicit of accused 1 and 2 in the death of Senzo. The interpreter then interpreted things. Nami, I couldn't comprehend what he was saying because it didn't match with what I was hearing. It was just a mess, you guys. But then Baloyi got up and said it's not correct, and said that the correct evidence is that the witness heard from Bekiseni, who heard from the brother of Ntanzi, bringing up that triple hearsay thing again. Nisi then said, this is very interesting that the state is now saying it's triple hearsay. If it's triple hearsay, then why did they allow Brigadier Gininda to proceed with that triple hearsay? Well, the judge said, no, please. It's me saying that. Yes, I listened to the evidence. This is weird because this triple hearsay is not coming from Brigadier Gininda. It's coming from ABSALOM Zungu, right? According to the state's case, right? Yeah. So Baloyi then said, what counsel is saying is not correct from the outset. We've always been saying that this witness evidence is triple hearsay. If it is, then what is it doing in Brigadier Gininda's statement? And he said, we're not going to call the witness. He referred to the record of the 18th of October 2024, where they said that reference of ABSALOM Zungu needed to be left out on account that he has not been called as a witness. So the judge then said it was irrelevant for this court. He said, giving new evidence in court now. Baloyi also read the 20th of May 2025 record where they say that they avoided the hearsay evidence of Mr. ABSALOM Zungu. They were aware that they should not lead the hearsay evidence, and the defense is the one who introduced the triple hearsay evidence. Well, Nisi closed his cross-examination, but ABSALOM Zungu was not done. In fact, he asked for an opportunity to speak on what he was not satisfied about concerning the statement. Well, the judge said to ABSALOM Zungu that he can't tell him what to say, how to say it, and when to say it. Uzungu said he would like to comment on the statement Brigadier Gininda brought to court, because on the statement there are people he did not mention and he's not satisfied with that. Well, the judge said, I thought Gininda is a liar according to you because you never told him anything. As I understood, you, Gininda, just wrote what you never told them. Well, Zungu said, yes, I do admit that he never got this information from me. But I heard him when he was giving his evidence in court, and when the counsel of the accused asked him who was in the company of Gininda when Zungu was taking an oath. I did not see their name here, but Gininda saw that it's who and who. Well, the judge said his counsel can assist him. He can't. He looked like he really was very he was cold. He was cold to ABSALOM Zungu. It's like, he even looked at some point like he wanted to close his ears or something. I was like, it was quite awkward. Well, Zungu said there's a police officer mentioned in the statement. However, he doesn't see their signature in that statement. Gininda said he was with Mohani, is what advocate Nisi communicated to Bab Zungu. Well, Zungu said he did not know him and asked to proceed. Nisi then, eventually got up to assist. Well, Nisi said that it was immaterial as to who introduced the statement, because maybe he felt like Ubabu Zungu really felt intimidated because he was becoming timid. The attitude that he was getting from the judge, and also hearing maybe the judge trying to make it seem like the defense was at fault for introducing ABSALOM Zungu's evidence or whatever that was. All that matters, he said, is that you distanced yourself from the statement, and the signatures on the statement you are saying are not yours. Zungu said he had been there for 4 weeks, right? And what made him move from home to come sleep in the garages? He wanted to place it on the court as to what had been distressing him all this time. Zungu said that when this matter started, there's no letter that he got from the state, even though in the start of the trial his name was mentioned in that court. Now he wants to find out that since he's been struggling because of this, that in South Africa, when your name is mentioned in a case, you are not called. This case was based on my name. He said, I'm the center of this case. When the case started, I was in a long list of witnesses. He said, I was not in the list of witnesses, my apologies. And I didn't know what I would ever come to testify because this case was opened using my name. Who testified on my behalf? He was asking. So Mnisi explained that those are the questions that the court is trying to answer. It's premature for the court to make a finding now. Literally trying to make a reason with Ubabu Zungu to help him understand as to why things are happening the way that they are happening. And Zungu said that Gininda said that after speaking to him is when he made those arrests. How is that?
We are buffering.
Okay, let me wrap it up. How is that TV? I was called to clean and give testimony in court. That does not sit well with me. Well, Mnisi explained to him in Zulu everything so that he could understand. And Ubab Zungu said he's determined. So he will stay in Gauteng and continue to testify. This is after the judge asked him whether he'll be staying or traveling to KZN. I don't know why he wanted to know that. But yeah, he said it's him. It's him who has to do this as a judge. It's the law. It's not him. Right? It's the law.
Thank you, guys. Bye. There's not going to be a con call, nothing. We're buffering now. It's been good 2 hours. Thank you.
Okay, guys. Bye. See you again later.